Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. Here at KrystalElaineTV, we are a lifestyle channel that is dedicated to encouraging and inspiring one another to living the best life and the blessed life that God has called us to live. And in today's video, I actually have a cook with me for you, and I'm gonna be sharing a couple of my favorite recipes using cauliflower in place of traditional rice. And I'll talk a little bit more about why I prefer to use cauliflower in the place of rice a little bit later on. But I know some people are trying to cut back on their carbs or just incorporate more veggies in general, and so these are a couple of things that I find really tasty and they're very easy to make, so I'm really excited to share them with you today. The first recipe that I have for you is a cauliflower fried rice, and the second recipe is a broccoli cheese casserole. So both of these recipes can be made with or without meat, and so you can also switch up the type of protein that you want to include in it, or you can omit it completely, so that's totally up to you, but I'm just going to share with you the base of the recipes, and I hope that you've really enjoyed them. So let's get right on into the cooking. Okay, so starting out with the cauliflower fried rice, you will need riced cauliflower, some onions that are diced, some mixed vegetables, and a couple of eggs. And then for the spices, I used black pepper, red pepper, garlic powder, some Himalayan pink sea salt, and ginger. And then to further season it and actually make it taste like fried rice, I used soy sauce, sesame seed oil, and extra virgin olive oil. And then you can add a protein if you would like. So today I decided to add shrimp to my fried rice. Okay, so now we are just going to heat our skillet over medium-high heat on the stove. And I'm gonna start out by putting the oils, so the olive oil as well as the sesame oil. And the sesame oil is really what gives it that Asian flavoring. So we'll let the two of those heat up together. And then the first thing I'll add in is the diced onions. These are frozen, but you can use fresh as well. And then once the onions have kind of softened and start to brown a little bit, I'll go ahead and add in the cauliflower rice. And then I will just stir the two of those together, make sure everything gets evenly coated with the oils, and let it start to warm through. So now I will just go in and season everything up with all of the spices that I showed earlier. So the salt and pepper, the garlic powder, the ginger, and then the red pepper flakes, which are optional. You can omit those if you don't want it to be spicy. Okay, so once all the spices are in, give everything one more stir. And then what I like to do is kind of create a little well or a space in the middle of the skillet. And in there, I'm gonna add my frozen mixed vegetables. That way they can just get some direct heat and start to warm through. And then once I have those added into the skillet, I will go ahead and season those as well. That way everything that I'm adding is getting its own layer of seasoning. So using the same salt, pepper, garlic powder, and ginger to add to the vegetables. And once I have all my seasonings in, I will go ahead and give all of that a stir. Make sure, again, everything is evenly coated and all incorporated. And then at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and add in the eggs. So I will again create some space on the edge of the pan and crack the 2 eggs into the skillet. And then I will scramble those and I will let them cook through. And then once they are pretty well cooked through, I'll go ahead and stir everything together. So like I said earlier, there are several different reasons why I enjoy using cauliflower as an alternative to rice. I think one of the more obvious reasons is because it is a lower carb alternative. So for anyone that is looking to replace or remove some of the carbs from their diet, cauliflower is a great alternative. It's got a very similar texture to rice, and it can take on flavors the way that rice does. And so it's just a great alternative ingredient. Cauliflower is also jam-packed with nutrients, and some of which we are kind of lacking in our diet. So vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin B6. It's also really high in fiber, which I know a lot of us are looking to add into our diet, and it's also a good source of antioxidants. So it's a great nutritious ingredient to include or incorporate more into our diet. Okay, and then last but not least is adding in the soy sauce. So I added in about a 1/4 cup or so, and I'll put some approximate measurements down in the description box so that you can follow the recipe as well. But I pretty much just kind of guesstimate everything and kind of go by taste. So I'm adding in the soy sauce and then giving everything a stir. And then as I go through and taste everything, I may want to go ahead and add some additional sesame oil, which I did end up doing this time, or some additional seasoning just to make sure everything tastes okay. And then the very last step is to add in the protein of your choice if you are gonna do that. I went with shrimp today, so it was super easy to just add in the raw shrimp, nestle it down into the rice and let it cook through that way. If you're gonna add chicken or pork or beef or some other meat that takes longer to cook, I would suggest cooking that separately and then adding the cooked meat into the pan. So here I just covered the pan with the shrimp in it, let it cook through for just 3 or 4 minutes, and that's it. So I think it turned out really great. You can see it's nice and hot and steaming, and everything kind of browned up nicely with the sesame oil and the soy sauce. And so it came together really nicely. So we'll go ahead and plate it up and show you what it looks like. So that's it, a really simple and easy alternative to traditional fried rice. It's much better for you because it's got more veggies in it, and it's just packed with protein and vitamins and nutrients, and so it also tastes really good. So I really enjoyed this dish, and I hope that you give it a try. Okay, so up next is my broccoli cheese casserole, and it is just going to call for some riced cauliflower, broccoli florets, some shredded cheese, some different seasonings, and then some canned cream of mushroom or cream of chicken soup. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my oven on to 350 degrees and let that preheat while I get all the ingredients together. And then I'm just gonna dump everything into the bowl. So I'm starting out with the cauliflower rice and the broccoli. And then I am going to season those up, adding in some pepper, some salt, some paprika, some Italian seasoning, and some garlic powder. The last reason, and probably one of the most important reasons that I enjoy adding cauliflower to my diet as opposed to rice, is if you saw my previous video about my weight loss journey, which I will link in the description box below, you'll know that I had bariatric surgery a few years ago, back in 2015, and so rice is one of the foods that I needed to remove from my diet. So I no longer eat rice post-surgery. I'm not able to digest it, and so I do like to look for alternatives to replace that particular ingredient, but still be able to enjoy a lot of the meals that I have always loved. And next I'm gonna go ahead and add in the cream of mushroom or the cream of chicken soup. If you want it to be completely vegetarian, then definitely use the cream of mushroom. The cream of chicken is just gonna have more of that chicken flavor, so it's really up to you. And also you can kind of go by feel in terms of the amount that you add here. I think I just ended up using 1 can this time, but if it seems kind of dry as you're mixing it together, then definitely go ahead and add a 2nd can. This is supposed to be a creamy and cheesy dish, and so you want to make sure that everything is kind of sticking together, and that's how you can tell if you have enough soup or not. So once I have all the soup stirred in with the veggies, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my shredded cheese. Today I'm using cheddar, but you can really use any kind of shredded cheese that you like. Go ahead and get that all mixed together. And then once everything is together, I'm gonna go ahead and just spray my casserole dish with some baking spray just to help it not stick, and add the mixture into the dish. And then once I've got everything all placed into that pan, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of flatten it out so that it's nice and even and smooth on the top. And then this goes straight into my 350-degree preheated oven. I did put it on a cookie sheet just in case I had any bubble over. I didn't want a big mess in my oven. And so I just put it on the cookie sheet, stuck it in the oven. And then 30 minutes later, open up your oven and you should have a very warmed through casserole. And so the very last step, which is really gonna take it over the top, is to add some additional shredded cheese. So we're just gonna spread a layer of that cheese on the top of the casserole. And we're gonna slide it back into the oven. This time we're gonna turn on our broiler. And we're gonna leave it for about 3 to 4 minutes. Be really careful with your broiler because stuff can get away from you really quick, so definitely keep an eye on it. I started with 4 minutes and that was perfect for my oven, but definitely go according to how quickly your oven cooks. And then 4 minutes later, open the oven and you have this cheesy, bubbly, ooey gooey deliciousness. And I have to say that it sounded and smelled and tasted really good. So we'll go ahead and pull that out and get it plated up and show you what it looks like. And so there you have it. It is a traditional broccoli cheese casserole minus the rice, plus some cauliflower for, again, some added nutrition. So it's just a really great way to just easily sneak some additional veggies into your diet and to omit some carbs if that's something that you're interested in doing. So I really enjoy making both of these recipes. They're both really easy to make, both take less than 30 minutes in terms of prep time, and you can easily get these on the table for your family or for yourself on a busy weeknight or on the weekends. Okay everyone, so that is all I have for you today. I really hope that you enjoyed being in the kitchen with me and cooking with me and that you give these recipes a try. And if you have any simple recipe ideas or things that you would like to see me try out on my channel, then definitely leave a comment down below. And if you enjoy videos like this and would like to see more from me on recipes using alternative ingredients, then give me a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe before you head on out. Join our family here at KrystalElaineTV, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.